Hello and welcome back to the channel. I know, finally I made a video. So I've been incognito for a couple months now. I think the last time I made a video was in December and it's now February. I'm really sorry about that, but with my work schedule, with all the holidays and with the weather outside, I just haven't had the time nor the weather to make a video. I live in Colorado Springs and the weather is bipolar. Some days there'll be 50 degrees in the winter, but other days like today, we have a high of 8 and a low of -10. So I'm not riding in snow and -10. But anyway, welcome back to the channel. So I've had, I think, about 5 to 10 people ask in the last 2 weeks which board I would recommend more, the Onsra or the Eovan. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I'm going to go into it and just try to gloss over everything, and then I'll do more of it in depth. So if you want even more information, then stay to the end. But I'm going to talk about what I would recommend. That I being the key word there. This is my opinion. You may have a completely different opinion. So take this with a grain of salt, watch all the videos that you can, and make a decision on a board that works best for you, not what works best for me. So let's get into it. So these boards are set up to be different types and different styles of boards. I'll try to line the back of it up. I mean, look how much bigger the Eovan is compared to the Onsra. It's not even close. That Eovan is a huge board. So here's the deal. I can't give you a straight up answer on would I recommend this or this. It all depends on what you want the board for and what you want out of a board. So if you just flat out ask me, hey, I just want to know your opinion and I'm going to click off the video. Okay, I'd buy the Onsra. If it was me and I had to pick between the two boards, I'd take the Onsra. But that might not work best for you. So let's get into why I would pick the Onsra and why the Eovan would be a better board dependent on your situation. The main reason why I picked the Onsra for me is my riding style. That is the main reason. So this is a very short deck. It is a very powerful board and it's very quick. So it gets off the line, the brakes are strong, and because of the short deck, it is super nimble. I compare this to like driving a go-kart, okay? This is the go-kart of the boards. It's super responsive, and that is what I love about the Onsra. That is my riding style. So because that's my riding style, that's what I like to do, I'm going to pick the Onsra. Also, in addition to that, I don't really like going fast. So when I say fast, I mean anything over 30 miles an hour, I don't need to be doing on a board. So with that being said, the shorter deck doesn't affect me like it will some people. I cruise around 15 miles an hour. That's my normal riding speed, around 15 miles an hour. I'll bump it up to 20, maybe 22, like on a straight stretch of road when there's traffic behind me, or I'm trying to go around something, or just for short bursts, I'll bump it up over 20. So max I do on that board is 20 to 25 max, because after that the Onsra gets really unstable because of this short deck and because of how loose I have the trucks. So I have this set up to be a carving board because that's what I like to do. On a snowboard, I do the same thing. I run a shorter deck and I go down groomed trails. I'm not that powder rider. I'm not that park rider. So I love groomed trails and a shorter deck because of that. This is super nimble, super powerful, super nimble. I love this board. The only thing that I wish that I could get out of this board is more miles. So conservative riding, I'm right around 22 miles on cloud wheels. I'd like more. But it does great up hills, does great everywhere. Everywhere that I ride in Colorado Springs for my area and my style, this is my go-to board. That's why I love it so much. Now you can really start to see the size difference between the two boards. So that's not to say that the Eovan doesn't have its place. The Eovan absolutely does have its place. The main thing that I can think about with this Eovan on why somebody would want this over the Onsra is the way it's set up right now with AT wheels. So we all know that AT wheel, because they're rubber, because they're squishy, because they're taller, they kill the battery faster than something like the cloud wheels. So the AT wheel on the Onsra, you're not going to get anywhere near 20 miles. Not with my weight and in my hills. You're not going to get anywhere near 20 miles. Okay. So if you're looking for, hey, I want distance, this guy, 19 amp hours. This thing going forever. Okay. This thing going forever on cloud wheels. So then when you put the AT wheels, I haven't tried a distance run yet. I will this summer, but I'm guessing well over 20 miles on the ATs. So that's number one, is the distance. If you don't like the fast zippy carving and you're like, yeah, I don't ride like that, I just kind of smooth and flow with big carves, then this will work fine for you. But I will tell you right now, it's like driving a truck. So if this is the go-kart of the board world, this is the truck of the board world. It does fine. It has plenty of power, plenty of brakes. It does great on all that. The gas tank on this is humongous, like on a truck. But when you're trying to turn, when you're trying to be fast and zippy, it feels like you're driving a truck. Now that's not to say that you can't run cloud wheels on this. You absolutely can. I like this board with cloud wheels, but out of all my boards that I'm going to leave ATs on, this is going to be it because of the battery, because of the range, and because it's just big and bulky anyway. So making it even more big and bulky with ATs just kind of makes sense to me. I'm going to keep my nice nimble boards like the Andra just on the 105 cloud wheels. So yeah, this battery is what sold me on this. The deck, I love the carbon fiber. It's very sturdy. I don't like the hump in the center. That's why you see that I changed out the center grip tape. So it used to have squishy grip tape everywhere to include the center. But there's an arch right here and it bothers me. It bothers that my foot's up like this and I have to like pivot and roll like this. My toes will actually be up in the air when I'm on the heel edge, and my heel will actually be in the air when I'm on the toe edge. I don't like that, so I took the squishy grip tape off the center and put the regular grip tape on, just so it tries to flatten this out a little bit. But I have no qualm with the board. I have no problem with this board. In addition, if you want to get into programming or tuning your board, then Eovan's the way to go, because this, the Onsra, runs the hobby wing, which you can't program, and this runs the ECU that you can program. So I guess that just about wraps it up. That's why I like the Onsra more than the Eovan. If you want me to go more into a deep dive, or if I didn't answer your direct question, then go ahead and comment in the comments down below and I'll get to them. I do want to say that I tried to answer every single person comments, but I've noticed lately that a couple have fallen through the cracks. Either I didn't get notifications or they went to review. I'm going to turn off that review function. Don't care. So sorry if I didn't get to your comment. If I don't get your comment, just repost it. Because I didn't get notified and because I missed it. It's not because I don't want to answer your question. Alright, if you stuck around this far in the video, that's because you want even more additional info to the boards and why I would choose one over the other, right? So, I can't harp enough on the size difference of the two boards. The size difference is crazy. The weight is crazy different. The Eovan weighs a lot more. So, there is a place for both of the boards. And the best analogy I can come up with is truck and go-kart, or truck and sports car. So what do you want out of a board? I understand that distance is important to a lot of people. It's important to me. Do you need more than 20 miles? Then you need to go with the Eovan. No, I don't need 20 mile, but I want 20 mile out of ATs. Ooh, the Onsra not really going to be there. Not if you weigh my weight. Not if you weigh over 200 pounds. 200-pound plus, the Onsra won't get you 20 miles on the ATs. So you need to go with the Eovan. Now, you say, no, I want the sports car experience. I'm only, I'm less than 20 mile wherever I go, yada, yada, yada. Then my pick is the Onsra. Now, I will say this. The Onsra are capable of over 20 miles an hour. I don't know how fast or over 30. I don't know the top speed of it because I've never done it. I can't do it. With my weight, with my bushing setup, I even cranked down the bushing as far as they would go. And right when I hit 30 miles an hour, I got the death wobble. I'm not okay with that. I'm not coming off of a board. I'm middle-aged. I'm not coming off of a board at over 30 miles an hour. I will not, my body will not take that abuse. I can't just spring back like I could in my 20s. So if you're looking for speed, the Onsra definitely faster than the Eovan, but the Eovan is a lot more stable than the Onsra. So I don't know. It's a trade-off. I think they're both capable of doing the same speed. The Eovan, I think, right around 25 miles an hour, if I remember right. The Onsra will do 25 miles an hour just fine and stay relatively stable. You got to kind of watch it. You got to be careful with it, but I've never gotten a death wobble at 25 miles an hour on the Onsra. So yeah, that's, I mean, I don't know how much more detail I can give you or how much more question I can answer. If I didn't answer your question, throw it in the comments. As far as customer service goes on both of the boards, I have to say that Onsra is easier to talk to than Eovan. So the person that I talked to through Eovan, I've gotten through to them. I've gotten everything that I needed. I haven't had a terrible experience, but it is kind of pulling teeth a little bit. There's a lot of question, a lot of second guessing, a lot of, I don't know, it just feels like they don't think that I know what I'm talking about. And some of that could be lost in translation. They are a Chinese company. You're talking to their one employee that knows English. Yeah, so take that as you will. But for customer service, I'd rather deal with Onsra than Eovan. But that's not to say that Eovan has ever, screwed me over or anything like that. So customer service, definitely go up to Onsra, but Eovan's not bad. So if you're going through a point system where you want to award a certain board certain points and see which one works for you, I'll try to answer all the category I can think of just off the top of my head. So speed goes to Onsra. Acceleration goes to Onsra in the current configuration. If you reprogram Eovan, you might be able to get more speed or acceleration out of it, but that's on you. And if you do that, there's a chance that you could burn something up. So there is the possibility for Eovan to have faster acceleration and harder braking, but out of the box, stock for stock, it goes to Onsra. Noise, it has to go to Eovan. So Eovan is more quiet than Onsra. Now I say that, but if you remember in my video of the Eovan, the way that they, let me get the wheel and show you. So if you didn't watch my video, the first set of wheel and pulley that I got for the Eovan, they were so tight. I mean, I can't even do that one ended. So the wheel was so tight into the pulley that I had to put it on the board and then force the nut on, right? Never good to do that. And what ended up happening is it didn't fully seat. It was like that. So it put pressure on this bearing, and there's no spacers in the bearing and the pulleys. None of the boards have them. So it put lateral pressure on it, and it destroyed the bearing within 20 miles, 30 miles, something like that. So when that happened, then the Onsra definitely wins. The Eovan was more noisy. That bearing was making all kinds of noise. But in the normal configuration with everything working properly, the Eovan is more quiet than the Onsra. These cans, I think these are the same exact motor. I can't prove it. I don't know. But they look identical to the motors that come on the Viral RS. So they're definitely bigger motors, and they are more quiet. So speed, Onsra, Eovan, gets it for being more quiet, more of a quiet board. Programmable, non-programmable. What else do y'all want to know? Top speed. Onsra definitely takes top speed. What else? Distance. Eovan wins distance, hands down, no question asked. 19 amp hour compared to, I think, 10 amp hour with the Onsra. So Eovan definitely wins with distance. Most suitable for ATs, I'm going to say Eovan, because the board's big and clumsy anyway, but with that extra battery, you get way more range with the ATs. So I'll have to give, if you want to run exclusively ATs, then I'd probably go with the Eovan. Climbing hills, I would have to give to Onsra. I think because it's a smaller board and the way the 12S is set up, I don't know what Onsra did, but that thing a beast up hills. Eovan's not far behind it. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not like it's night and day difference like the Onsra compared to the Evolve. The Eovan right behind it. It does great up hills. I can't complain. But if you want just that little bit of an edge, it's the Onsra up hills, and that goes into power. So Onsra is more powerful. It's a little bit faster off the line. They're a little bit more oomph off the line than the Eovan, and it's a little bit harder braking than the Eovan. So it has a little bit more power in the whole spectrum, the Onsra does, over the Eovan. But it's a small amount. Flex, if you're worried about flex of the board, neither one are very flexible. Obviously the Eovan is way more stiff, being this long, this thick, and being carbon fiber with a battery that runs the whole length, that this thing doesn't move. The Onsra has flex, but it's only right here and right here. So the way that the battery is underneath, the battery is rigid. So everywhere where there's a bolt, all that is rigid. The only flex that this board has is right here and right here. And I think after time, I'm actually going to break the deck because of it. But I can't prove that. That's just a theory. But yeah. So flex going to Onsra, but again, only by a little amount. Neither one are very flexible at all. Parts and availability, I have to give to Onsra because they have a rep here in the United States. So they have a couple things. They have a store rep here in the United States, Onsra California. Go on there. All my discount codes work for all the Onsra sites. No matter if you're ordering from Onsra directly, Onsra in Australia, Onsra California, Ramify should work on all of them. If it doesn't work, let me know in the description and I'll get it fixed. So parts and availability for the US has to go to Onsra because they have a local store that have parts in stock that they ship directly from California. And I think Onsra California is still doing free shipping for everything. So parts and availability go to Onsra. In addition to that, if you have a problem with this board or if you're going to claim some type of warranty work or whatever, it goes to a gentleman down in Texas. So again, if you're in the United States, it goes to Texas and it's a lot faster. In Europe, Onsra has a warehouse and stuff in Germany, I believe. So you're going to get faster service. Everything has to go through China with Eovan. So it's just like all the other Chinese boards. If your motor goes out, you're going to be waiting a week or two, or not a week or two, but a month or two to get any type of replacement parts for this board. I think I rambled long enough about both of the boards. I think I answered maybe 90% of all the questions that I've been asked and that are out there. I can't think of any additional questions. If you want to run rubber wheels, you know, these solid rubber wheels on a board, then again, I would suggest Eovan because these rubber wheels that come on the Onsra, it kills the range. So I get 10 to 14 miles on the rubber wheel that come with the Onsra, and this is capable of over 20 on the rubber wheels. So again, if you want to run rubber wheels, then the Eovan is going to be your best bet. For urethane and for clad wheels, I'd put them on the Onsra before I put them on here. But yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And go ahead and, if you don't mind, hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm trying to get over 1,000 subscribers. Once you get over 1,000 subscribers, then all your videos are completely different in the YouTube algorithm, and I think the channel really going to take off after 1,000. So stay tuned. If you've already liked, if you've already subscribed, if you're already commenting, thanks so much. You're what's making this channel possible. And if you haven't, please consider doing it. If that's not your thing, that's not your thing. Then enjoy the free content. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next video.